Well, good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is when you are watching this. It is the morning of my recording of my first mini album, so I'm very, very excited about that. Excited to see how it's going to go. So in about 3.5 hours, I'll be taking off to the studio in Savannah, Georgia. Currently just out here for a nice little walk to warm up for the morning before I head on out to the studio. So just taking a second to be outside and enjoy the weather. And then I'll go in and start to warm up and whatnot and get my hands moving, play through some things, not too much though, before I head in for the 5 hours to hopefully get all 3 songs done and ready, and then they'll be mixed, mastered, all of that will happen later. But I'm journeying this because this is the first time that I'm doing something like this, so I felt it was fitting to document it, and I can look back on it later. So excited to have this for future me and for present you all. All right, so we are here outside the studio. We arrived in Savannah. I'm here with Jim, who's going to be moral support for today. And all the guitars are back there, and we'll head in and get set up in a moment. All right, we're here in the studio. Awesome stuff. All right, we're here in the studio. Here we go. We're at 140.
Kid, look at me.
Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. We got some little bit of. There we go. A little bit of car bass outside rumbling.
No worries.
All right, here we go.
All right.
You're rolling.
Quick little present day interjection here as I'm editing this video. So now we've moved on from the acoustic portion of the recording process to the bass portion. And then we ended up doing the melody, the solos, and then an arrangement section. So we had 4 guitar parts going, well, that's counting the bass, so 3 guitar parts in the bass. And the stress of the whole day surrounded the fact that I had wanted to play all of the parts myself. So I, for the 5 hours we had booked, I was playing all of it. So I was going from the acoustic guitar and then grabbing the bass, even though in this next clip, Shane, the engineer, is doing some cool bass stuff, just for fun while we were tuning it. And then moving on to the last 2 guitars. So it was a lot of, I had to keep moving and keep the parts moving in order to make it within the time. So it was a little stressful right there. So what's really terrible is that I actually didn't get any clips of me playing any melody or solos live on video, but I used a guitar right over here, that 335. And so I used that, had a great time with it, but that was right when we were all starting to get into the music and super excited, and so I think I just forgot to grab my phone and get Jim to video anything or just set it up on the tripod or anything like that. So we did that part all successfully, and now you're going to see some of the arrangement section, which I did on a Strat. Still recording here. Happy times, we're still in arrangement section. There's Jim. Got Shane over here, engineering it all. It's all going well.
Bass drum like orchestral. But
Like I feel like I'm in Japan.
well,
I'm at the
silly.
Tokyo Olympics right
You're
now,
silly.
and I'm gonna hear doom,
Check
doom,
this out,
doom.
Miss Abigail.
So what's happening in this next clip is that I'm doing something called doubling. It's essentially where the first guitar part was played. So I played a first guitar part on acoustic, and then I got my Strat out, and what you're about to see is me doubling my part. So I had to play my part exactly like I played it the first time, except now I'm playing it on a different guitar, and I'm only playing the top end of the chord. But the hard thing was I had to remember what I had played exactly, because we're going to stack those 2 parts on top of each other and make them sound just like they're doubled. And so it's a little challenging, and we had to do it a few times because I had to get it exactly to the point where whatever accents I had to use, whatever dynamics I had used, they were going to match up exactly. So at this point, we were almost finished and we could sense that we were going to get all of this done, all the parts, everything done in 5 hours, which was tough. When I originally said that I wanted to book 5 hours, the engineer thought I was crazy, and Jim looked at me and said, I think you're going to have to go back for a second day. So at this point, you're going to see that the mood starts to lighten. We're joking around a little bit. We're having fun because I think we had just 1 or 2 parts left to play on that green Strat behind me there. And then that was going to be it for the day, and I was going to be in under 5 hours. So cool. Mr. Jim's over here. What do you have to say?
Yeah. How many times are you gonna like put me on the couch? Okay? Oh, yeah.
All right, so we have finished the recording. Mr. Jim, what do you have to say? How was it?
The recording came out great. She played excellent. Proud of her. Couldn't have done it any better.
It was awesome. We got all the songs done. Mr. Jim was super helpful. Laid on the couch, was great moral support. No, seriously, he was an awesome coach.
I did lay on the couch though.
Okay, we were getting tired. It was the afternoon. So big thank you to Mr. Jim for coming out and helping me. So it was awesome. Cannot wait to share with all of you. And yeah, it just has to get mixed and everything, and then it'll be out. Well, it is the day after recording. Crazy to think that all happened yesterday. It just felt like such a blur of 5 hours and some change because we had to drive there and unpack and set up and all of that. And we stayed and talked for a little bit, and that was fun. But wow, I cannot believe that a dream has come true. I mean, I have dreamt of going into a studio and recording my music for years. And to see that come to life yesterday, I can't even explain the feeling. I think it should be enough to say that I did not sleep last night. That should be your answer right there. It was crazy. So I'd like to thank Shane at the studio for engineering and producing and all of that. He was fantastic. Did so many cool things to the guitar. Excited to see what he ends up coming up with a mix and all of that. And also big thanks to Jim Bachety for coming along and offering support and help with arrangements and everything along those lines. He's the one who really pushed me to go ahead and do this little demo album kind of thing. And so I owe a lot to him for pushing me to do this and for helping me along the way. So big thanks to him. Big thanks to all the people who have supported me as I work towards this goal of getting this out to people so they can hear it. My music, which is just so cool and still doesn't feel real. So I'm excited to see what happens, and stay tuned because the music will hopefully be ready soon. Stay tuned for the release of the album In Relation, which I hope will be out very soon. I can't wait to share with all of you, and thanks for coming along on the journey of today in the studio.